Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan opens up the show proper with Becky Lynch coming out in this tuxedo style outfit with the fashion statement of the pro wrestling universe in 2024, the Chris Harrington original hat. That seems, from Zach Knight on down. Yes, she was wearing this.
The Chris Harrington original hat.
That man is synonymous with this hat, and he will always get the credit for this hat because from Zach Knight on down, everyone's adopting this look in 2024. Chris Harrington was doing it years ago.
Was it the all-in brawl footage that was his, I guess, on-screen debut?
That was the main streaming of it. Okay. So look out for AEWshop.com. I'm sure they're going to be on top of that at some point. I saw a lot of compliments towards this outfit, but this was like watching Low-Ki wrestle a match in a suit. It was just a little odd.
I don't disagree. Now, first of all, let me say I really do commend how creative the women's outfits have become to adhere to the dress code ever since that they got got
away from the XL t-shirt phase, which
ever since they got permission to get away from like the giant t-shirts, which just was awful. So like they've taken it and they've kind of run with it creatively to kind of make these feel special. You have Liv Morgan here, like was this like a Britney Spears tribute?
Yes,
that's how I took it.
Yeah,
and Becky with her tribute to waiters at restaurants everywhere. I don't disagree.
You're not giving me my credit.
It did kind of give me a second. Like I thought she was gonna like in my mind, like this felt like an outfit that she would take off after her entrance to do something.
No,
else.
this was it.
Yeah, she wrestled in this. I mean, it's Becky Lynch,
So the match starts, and they note at the beginning that Becky is 4-0 against Liv Morgan. And as soon as that record was brought out, like I will be honest here, like when we do these previews, I was way too just assuming of a Becky title retain in this. And then when I heard that record, I was like, okay, maybe we will be, and the Dominik thing as well. I mean, they were certainly setting the table here. But Liv yanks her off of the turnbuckle and starts working on Becky's arm. And then Liv tries to drive her into the corner. The timing was very off on this. And that prompted our play-by-play / analyst, Michael Cole, to get in and ask Corey Graves, does jet lag play a factor in this, Corey? And Corey's response, I mean, Michael, we've been here like almost a week, so I'd say not likely. And they trade strikes.
I do like questions like that. They're getting at least a bit more sports oriented, and they're asking somewhat smarter questions of each other, even in kayfabe.
Yeah. I mean, Corey could have given a bit more analysis. It's like usually it's flying out of here versus flying in here that sometimes we can have delays and such.
Ooh, yes. Mm-hmm.
They trade strikes on their feet, and there's a backsploder, sending Liv to the floor, and then Oblivion gets caught, and Becky goes for kind of like an inverted DDT into like a final cut. Crowd was very hot for this. And then a manhandle slam is countered into a roll up. They pick up the tempo here, and there's a hip toss into the armbar by Becky, but Liv stacks her and goes to the rings of Saturn. As they explain, she's been studying Becky's ground game. And yes, going to the depths of Perry Saturn here for her inspiration. And then we see Dominik appear ringside to a ton of boos as Liv is able to get to the rope here after it's countered into the disarmer. And with that, there's a manhandle slam that is countered with a code breaker. Liv gets a 2 count, and they do a superplex spot. Both women are laying down, and Dom slides a chair in between both of them. And this leads to the referee being distracted, and Liv capitalizes, DDTing Becky onto the chair and follows with Oblivion. Liv Morgan pins Becky at 15:25, and the idea here was Dominik, who was the chair meant for? And Becky is furious, and Liv celebrates with her championship win. Your thought on the match?
Well, first of all, I was a little surprised by the title change because Becky had just won it not that long ago. And because of the draft, like there were a lot more fresh matchups for Becky with the championship that I thought they would go to before passing it on to Liv. But I mean, you look at the result, and especially with the Dominik storyline, Liv is arguably as hot as she's ever been. She's arguably involved in the most long-term storyline right now in the women's division, at least on Raw, with Rhea Ripley. So I can totally understand the decision to give her the championship. I thought the match was, I found a bit tough to get into. Honestly, like the pace was constant, the activity was really abundant, but like I just like couldn't really get into whatever narrative they were trying to build here. To me, it just kind of felt a bit of a blur of moves without any single thing really standing out. But that said, the crowd did not agree with me at all. They were really engaged into every near fall. So they were able to find a connection that I wasn't able to until the Dominik stuff at the end, which, you know, I think they've done a really good job with starting with everything behind the scenes and with the Easter eggs up until now. It's a story I'm definitely into.
I thought the Dominik involvement enhanced this for me. I had a lot of the same thought as you. Yes, it was an engaged crowd, and that's what you're working towards here. But maybe you and I are just on a different side of the coin, because we also love Kyle O'Reilly and Malachi Black, and that one was kind of lauded for not having any engagement in it. But to me, my criticism, and this was more so the first half of the match, because I did think things picked up from like the manhandle slam counter onward, but it just felt as though it was like your turn, then it flip, then it's Liv's turn, and there was just a lot of like very telegraphed setup for the next spot, and it just felt as though we were just going in order, and it felt as though it was just a very mechanical match. But I mean, the audience was really hot for this, so you have to give it to that. But I would not say that this match met my expectations, but I do like the story with Dominik, and I thought that you ended this with I liked having like a cliffhanger at the end that gives you a reason to follow this story. And Dominik, is he working with Liv and following that up? And the final point would be, I figured Liv would get this title just closer to when Rhea's ready to come back. And I guess we don't know a timetable on her, but like obviously that is the match to get to, and maybe that's something for the summer.
Well, does it signify Rhea possibly coming back sooner than we thought?
I think you can get through at least this next pay-per-view cycle, but I would think like certainly for one of these summer shows that would be your aim, to get to that match, because they are intensifying this Dominik Liv story to the next gear after this.
Yeah. And then maybe we should mention it now. Becky, so evidently some people have rematch clauses in their contracts, and
those are back. Yeah, remember I thought they had gotten rid of these.
Okay. For some people, not everybody. Well, why didn't Seth Rollins asked for his rematch clause?
He's not the best negotiator. Should have had Becky's representative.
I guess Drew. Did Drew demand a rematch? Was his championship a rematch clause match? No.
He requested Damian give him a title shot, and Damian gave him a verbal. So
Becky has a better agent, clearly, who worked this into her contract. So she will be getting a rematch on Raw on Monday.
Presumably, yes. They did this segment backstage where she's furious with she was berating Dominik and said she's going to go to Adam Pearce and get her rematch for Monday's Raw.